back to a new 1203 Barrett TV revival episode. And in this episode, I am going to be looking back at a certain Hey Arnold episode that I am just so surprised that actually aired. And they actually did an episode on this. I mean, you're probably going to say, what am I talking about? There's a lot of things on cartoons that you'd be surprised that airs. Or, like Gumball wanting to get his behind slapped by Tobias, right? Because he feels left out, and him trying everything that he can to get his butt slapped by Tobias. And again, just lots of other things too. So it wouldn't be so much of a surprise, right, when it comes to with this episode. But again, definitely when it comes to Hey Arnold, I would definitely say it's definitely one of the craziest ones. Which I have obviously already done my reviews on Hey Arnold. Which, if y'all haven't seen my reviews on it, definitely there is a playlist on it, which y'all can check it out of my review on the series. Yeah, just again wanting to go back to this certain one of the ones that I want to kind of go briefly back on, which has Arnold going to Sid, Stinky, and Harold, which these guys can cause so much trouble together, right? We if you watch Hey Arnold, you would know these guys create so much trouble together. Like, yeah, these guys are absolute troublemakers, I would say, and would kind of make you not like either of them, especially on certain episodes that show them at their worst of how they are not really good kids. And yeah, said saying that they're all gonna moan Principal Warts. Yeah, they're all gonna moan Principal Warts, and it was Harold's idea. Which, yeah, I don't know why you would go along with something like this. I mean, I'm sure there are people in real life that do this type of stuff, but again, not really, well, good. That's all I can put it. And of course, they're wondering if Arnold would want to do it. And of course, he's like, he's doing the right decision and saying no, and he doesn't think it's such a good idea. And you're calling him chicken and saying that he doesn't have the guts to do it, which again, they're taunting him and making fun of him for not wanting to go along with this. Even though, yeah, Arnold, I mean, yeah, there are some times, again, also, if you watch Hey Arnold, you would know that Arnold does some stuff that is good and some stuff that is kind of questionable and not so good, right? But most of the time, he is a good kid, though. And he does the right thing most of the time, too. What I like about Hey Arnold. And yeah. And then, of course, they do moon Principal Warts. And they're running outside. And, of course, you would think, how could he have not could tell who that was? Who the three were? Who said Stinky and Harold were for doing it? Even though they had these animal mask kind of things, it's still pretty obvious you could tell who they are, especially with their clothes, right? With their clothes, it's pretty obvious. And then he sees Arnold, and he's like, "Where do you think you're going?" And of course, he doesn't think that Arnold was along with this, but saw he gets in trouble because getting the principal's office because he saw the ones that did do it. And yeah, Principal Warts, he's not really a good principal, I would say. He's not really a good principal at times. I mean, yeah, there's some stuff that I've seen Principal Skinner, on The Simpsons, showing that he's not really such a good principal either. But yeah, I would say Principal Warts isn't really one of the greatest teachers ever. I wouldn't say. But of course, he just goes too far on this, right? Just trying to get Arnold to, break and to say of who it actually was. But of course, he's saying that he's not a rat. He won't snitch, and yeah, he gets sentenced to detention. or he gets sentenced for detention for the next 4 weeks. Yeah, for the next 4 weeks. And of course, Sid, Stinky, and Harold are wondering if he told on them, but of course he didn't. And saying how he got 4 weeks detention. And of course, Stinky is like, but you didn't even do anything. Which, of course, yeah, he gets punished for something he did not do. I mean, yeah, he didn't tell Principal Warts of who did it because he doesn't like to, snitch on people. And then Harold basically threatening Arnold, saying of how you better not tell because you know what would happen if I do. Which again, I don't. There's times where I really do not like Harold. Like I said, there's really times I do not like Sid, Stinky, and Harold from the episodes that I have seen of this show. There's times where I don't like either three of these characters, especially Harold though. And yeah, of course, Stinky and Sid think that it's not fair for Arnold to take the blame for what they did and they should go to Principal Warts. But of course, Harold, being one of the worst characters, is like, he's saying that it's Arnold's fault for getting caught. Even though, no, it's not Arnold's fault. And no one's going to Principal Warts, and, continuing to do threats and stuff. Like, yeah, being a bully, as usual. And yeah, Arnold talking to Gerald, and of course Gerald is wondering why he won't tell on the other guys because he's saying that he's not a rat. And yeah, later on at the school, we see Principal Warts on the intercom saying how a crime was committed, which I would never, I don't even think you would be going on the school intercom and talking about something like this. And of course, Harold still being a bully and saying how nobody will find out if no one tells him, and pretty much doing his best towards Arnold. And yeah, having this lady do a sketch on what Principal Wart saw, kind of like a crime style drawing thing. And then still trying to get Arnold to say who it was that mooned Principal Warts, and of course he still won't tell. And he's saying of how if he won't do it, then he is going to have no choice but to put this in his personal record. Or, yeah, his record. And yes, of course, Sid, Stinky, and Harold are watching outside, and of course Harold's like, he's not a rat, he won't tell anybody. And he's like, did you rat? And then continuing to threaten Arnold about saying, oh, you know what would happen if you tell on us. And yeah, just Arnold just doing all these different things, like just writing mooning's not funny, and on paper and on the chalkboard, and even some of the slideshow. And yeah, Principal Wart's really going too far. And yeah, even when they're walking by, Arnold and Gerald walking by, we see Harold just having this not so good on his face. I mean, he should feel guilty. You'd think Harold should feel guilty because, yeah, I mean, just think about it though. And yeah, even Principal Wart still trying to get Arnold to say their names and even tempting him with some candy. And of course, Harold thinking that he's gonna rat. And yeah, even Principal Wart's talking about the abuse and stuff that he was put through when he told on some of his classmates. And of course, Harold like, you told on us, did you? And he's like, no. And he's like, why not? And if I were you, I would have rat you out on the first day. But of course, he's saying that he's not going to do it. And yeah, even getting shown some of the pages of what was drawn, what Principal Wart saw when he got mooned, and saying, "Do you know who these, you know, who these are? If you recognize any of them?" And he's like, "No." And yeah, then he's sleeping, and it seems like he's actually gonna feel some guilt. And when Arnold is saying that it's something that has to be done when it's the final day of detention, we see Sid and Stinky even looking too. And yep, Principal Wart's having the record and saying Arnold that you know that this is gonna lead you up to junior high. And right before he puts on the failure to cooperate, Harold comes in and he admits that he moaned Principal Warts and Sid and Stinky as well. And the music that plays too is just funny and dramatic as well. But yeah, they admit that they're the ones that did it, and Arnold gets let off the hook and saying that they just couldn't live, they just couldn't do it with the guilt. And Harold even saying, "I know, I wouldn't think I would make it to junior high anyway." Like man. And then yeah, they're just saying of how Arnold didn't have any guts to do the whole moaning with them, but they're saying that it must have taken a lot of guts to stand up to Principal Warts and not say anything. And then Harold just having a really, really bad idea again on getting a kick me sign and taping it to Principal's or Mr. Simmons' back. Like, yeah, that's not a good idea either. But yeah, like I said, this is definitely one of those episodes in cartoons I am quite surprised they actually did own. I could definitely say for sure. But yeah, it is a funny one, but it is quite surprising at the same time that this was an episode actually made. Right. But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all think. Definitely wanted to come back to this one. Still find it pretty crazy, even coming back to it.